Joining me now via Skype from Philadelphia is Carl Brown. He is the president of E-Waste Experts, which specializes in electronic waste disposal. Thank you so much for joining us, Carl. You know, these days people upgrade their cell phones and devices at a faster rate almost every year. Is that being reflected in the amount of e-waste we are seeing now?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we've become a society of consumers and we just continue to consume. And the next newest thing is, right around the corner. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Apple has a program where you pay them every month, and every time a new phone comes out, you send them your phone and they give you the new phone. So it just kind of, I mean, the manufacturers are, they're in business to sell phones. So they're doing everything they can to sell more phones. But what are we doing with the old ones? Really is the problem. And the segment that you just had was very interesting to draw people's attention to it. It really is a big problem. People don't know how to safely dispose of their thing. The segment mentioned, people concerned about their data, their information. So sure, repurposing within the family and keeping it for some other use at home, reuse is the best possible form of recycling. But when you deal with a reputable recycler, they're going to destroy the data. They're going to destroy the phones. So the phones that are going to be used by Japan to make all the metals, those phones are going to be ground up, and they're going to melt everything down, and they're going to capture the precious metals out of that. So those people don't really have any risk of their data being exposed, provided that there's a clear chain of custody, that they're giving that device to a reputable recycler, and then they are in turn, doing the correct thing with it. And so it's important to do your due diligence to make sure that the recycler that you choose is somebody who has a third-party certification, somebody who is reputable and knowledgeable in what they're doing.
Carl, overall, would you say this issue has improved or worsened since China stopped taking the world's recycling last year?
So, very interesting point. So China definitely slammed the door on a lot of products. So for example, clean plastic was a big item that we would export into China. So after you take apart that monitor, after you take apart that television or that computer, those plastic pieces, they're very good for turning in. Plastic is highly recyclable, and it's very good to turn into the next item. When China stopped taking the plastic, that put a lot of pressure on that sector and a lot of pressure on us to find alternatives, with how to handle the plastic. Let me just be clear. The big problem is that China would take it mixed together, and there they would separate it by chemistry, whether it's ABS or HIPPS or whatever other type of plastic, because it's very specific. When you're recycling HIPPS, you only want other clean HIPPS plastic in with it. You don't want ABS and other plastics contaminating the mix. It's difficult for us in this country to inject the amount of labor into separating each plastic by color and chemistry so that it can be more easily recycled. So that was something we all had to adapt to, is this higher level of separation that we've had to do here so that we could send the plastic out for further processing. So the plastic was a huge hit for us.
All right, Carl Brown in Philadelphia, thank you so much for joining us.